rose-colored glasses in my back pocket now. 'Cause life is better blue. No more waiting for you.
The first day of summer is today, which means the beginning of one of the most nostalgic seasons of life. Things like warm breezes, days that are just laying by the pool, the way that your skin just gets toasted, picnics that are in the park, long days that just turn into really lovely evenings, maybe a bit chilly even, where you can spend some time by the campfires with loved ones. There's so much to look forward to. It's a wonderful time to experiment with your outfits that are a bit more lightweight, with layers of things that are more natural fibers, things like linen and silk and cotton. And so for today's video, I thought I would put together just a list of quite a few summer pieces that are so timeless that they'll never go out of style, meaning you'll be able to wear them for years without them ever feeling outdated. And that's also gonna make them really great investment pieces while also being affordable. So I'd like to thank Quince for being the sponsor of today's video. When I think of timeless and chic staples for my closet, they have been my go-to for me for the past couple years. For this video, I personally purchased close to 50 pieces, and I narrowed that list down to my top selections for you all that meet the standard of being the most timeless and the most chic while also being affordable. All of these are going to be the very, very best of the best that are available right now. I have quite a few that I'm gonna run through, so I'm going to keep everything fairly short, but as always, everything is linked down below with my sizes as well. So let's get on with the first piece. The first piece in question is the one that I'm wearing. Now that we are officially into the tan months, I'm starting to experiment with some colors that I want to bring into my summer palette of my wardrobe. The first one I wanted to try is this butter yellow. Butter yellow obviously is one of those trending colors right now, but it works so well if you are a soft autumn like I am. So I wanted to try Quince's version. This is called a pale custard yellow, which I love the name of that. It just really makes me want a dessert. But I knew that I loved the cut of this top. So since I liked that, I just wanted to experiment from there with color, which by the way, that's a pro tip. If you want to experiment with different colors, be sure that you try it first on a style of shirt that you already like wearing. So this is going to be a modern take on the peasant blouse. It's got a ladder lace trim. So that's the little eyelet details that you're seeing here. Then also there's a slight little puff right at the shoulder, and then the cuffs, they're very interesting. They aren't too tight or anything, they're just elasticated, so you can pull them up and they're not like really hurting your arms or tugging at your skin or anything like that. So I also grabbed it in this white version that I really liked to be able to style not only with things like jeans, but you can style it with some white pants as well. So I grabbed some white trousers for this summer, and so I was just styling it with that for the day. I also wanted to feature one of their cotton poplin long sleeves. This is one of those things that's just such an essential for anyone's wardrobe, and that's why when I was on their site, I noticed that it has 1,400 really high reviews. So I wanted to see what all the fuss is about for this one. It is so beautiful the way that cotton poplin will just stay in place when you iron it. It is one of those things that just does get some natural lived-in wear as you're wearing it through your day, but it is so perfect not only for like more corporate situations, but something more like if you're going to be outside dining with friends, al fresco, and it's just so lovely to be able to spend time like just in a very chic way with your summer days. That's what I have been imagining for myself in this next season. That is what this inspiration is all about. I've been saving photos about this like on my Pinterest page as well. It's just one of those things where if you set a sort of inspiration for your life and the lifestyle that you want to be living, it really helps you start to be magnetized toward that sort of taste. So this is not only a closet essential, but something very inspirational for me. So I wanted to here just style it where I'm tying it in the front. I'm doing that with a lot of different pieces as well, just to be able to wear these high-rise either shorts or pants or skirts. There's just so many ways that you can style high-rise this time of year, and so to be able to sort of just tie it up in the front just makes it to where you are cinching everything, creating a very beautiful hourglass shape with that, with your outfit, and it just makes your whole outfit look so chic. Next, I picked up this cami in a couple of colors, this black one as well as the champagne one that I'm wearing. Both are washable silk, which is awesome. I adored this bust that is lacy, but it also has a really flattering neckline with that. I've tried this style from other brands in the past, and usually it's too bulky up here, like in the shoulder and chest area. It just doesn't sit as nicely as this one does. I also loved how thin the straps are here, which is part of what's giving it a much more flattering appearance, and it is adjustable, which is also such a plus. Also, it has a zipper along the side, which not only makes it easier to slip on and slip off, but it is something that contours in a really lovely way. So this one was such a win. I can style it underneath a cardigan like this. There's so many ways that I've tried styling this, either with jeans or that's like more dressed down, or else I can dress it way up with either skirts or pants or anything. So this is absolutely one of those beautiful closet essentials that I'm gonna love having in these two colors. Another color that I'm experimenting with that I don't think I've ever really tried wearing before is this deep orchid purple. I've tried purples before and all different tones of it, but this one is just so purely, beautifully floral in the way that it looks to me, but also it's not too strong, but it's still quite a pure color. I don't know if that makes any sense, but in person, it's just quite remarkable. I'm not sure if this shirt is still available in this color, but Quince uses this color in a lot of different silk items. So just really depends for yourself if it's more the color or the style of this shirt that you love the most. I wanted to try this specific style because it does have a 3/4 length sleeve, which I can either roll them up or just let them sit low, and that is totally fine. Depends on what I'm doing for the day. But I generally like to roll up my sleeves. I think it gives a really cool look to the outfit. The fit of this top is really relaxed. Everything about it is just a true classic constructed style. I do love wearing summer bikinis underneath silk tops like this on the warmer months. Last year I did a video with Quince kind of talking through the same thing, and it's just nice to be able to have these silk tops basically as cover-ups on top of your bikinis for this season. It creates such like an airy look that I just really love. One of my favorite timeless outfits that I've posted online was a couple of years ago styling some ivory overalls with this white blouse. I like this blouse, by the way, just as an example, to just be able to have a bit of a crop here so that as you turn to the side, it does show that. But I also have a way to just tie it in the back with this one. That's really fun to be able to experiment with, but basically any sort of flouncy like white blouse will really work with this sort of look. I adore that not only are these overalls a bit less utilitarian and casual because it's elevated in this like vintage white, I think it's awesome to be able to then style it up, dress it up with things like heels or espadrilles, and then to also be able to have these blouses. Because it's such a masculine piece, it just works so well to make it a bit ironic and playful. I also really like that the silhouette of these overalls are pretty wide throughout the whole leg. It's not like they get too small toward the feet, but it is something that just goes straight down. And it's such a comfortable, like organic cotton style that it feels sort of slouchy, like it bends with you, as opposed to if you've ever had that like thick denim in a overall, it's just a bit harsh. So this is a much more light and summery version of that. I'm always a fan of a white linen shirt, and you've seen me style some oversized versions in the past, but this time I wanted to try a very tailored look. So I actually shopped in the youth section on Quince, and this is a size 12 in youth. For my fellow petites, this might be a way where you not only can reduce cost, but you can look excellently dressed. A lot of petites actually have a very narrow shoulder width and might be just sort of small everywhere. So it's kind of challenging if you want that tailored look to find something that works this well. So just try it for yourself and see if it works for you. They actually have returns for like a full year, so it's not any worry if you ever want to just experiment with their pieces. And so I I really like to be able to tuck it in tightly into high-rise pants just because then it really snatches the waist. It almost feels like old Hollywood. As I was saying on that first piece, if you love a certain cut of a shirt, it's generally okay to experiment with different colors. So for this top, I showed you the white and the navy versions in last month's video, and for today, here it is in black. I think it works for me because it has this Peter Pan collar, which is very feminine, but also very like compact. I also think it's really great for any sort of button down like this to have that ability to tie it in the front. So it just keeps things a bit more fresh even with this black color. And it's so just light and airy for this time of year. It actually has some little holes like eyelet details along it, and that creates a really beautiful like striped look. But it is just one of those pieces that I know I could cherish forever. Next, for those days that are in the office or the memories that we can make by the campfire, I thought that having a cotton cardigan would be absolutely perfect. Cotton sweaters for me are one of my very favorite things to have on summer days because really you can wear them from spring into late fall and it really feels so good and you can style them in so many ways. But for me, what I think of is that it might have still a warm breeze outside, but if you're a little bit more chilly as a person, I definitely am. I'm always sort of cold-natured and wrapping myself up and staying cozy and comfortable. And so having cotton as a sweater or cardigan makes you feel not like you're too warm either, as a sweater or cardigan might make you feel if it's made out of wool. So this is something that I could go from the office and then pack up my weekend bag and take it with me on a beach trip. This is in a heather brown color, which is something that I'm just always on the search for when it comes to collecting things in my neutral palette, and it's something I can style with in a lot of different ways with different outfits. Next, I love an all denim look. This shirt is a distressed denim in a blue that leans a bit lighter, which helps it stay a bit more summery than other denim colors. And I also think that the sides of it seem to be rather contoured, not like so tremendously where I feel like it's just like so completely tailored, but it does create a bit more of a feminine silhouette than something that had a thicker denim top or something that's bulky or relaxed or oversized. This is just that perfect feminine, womanly sort of like Americana feel, and I just adore wearing it with some jeans that sort of match in an exact way. So Americana feel, Canadian tuxedo, a bit of both. They ship to both America and to Canada, so it really checks both boxes there. One more note is that I was really drawn to the size of the pockets in the front. A lot of times they might be more oversized, but this is something that is smaller and it just creates even more of that like tailored and feminine look. In true Americana style, I wanted to try one of the American flag sweaters that I've been seeing every single brand make, but Quince's version really stole my heart and I wanted to try theirs, specifically because of the color that they went with the American flag, because it's called like a speckled beige. So I really appreciate that because it leans way more taupe than a cream or even a true like beige color. It sort of plays with my skin tone very well this time of year, probably for the whole season, but it's just one of those very like summery tops as it is more of a cotton sweater like I was saying earlier with the cardigan. They also styled this for the whole family. This one is again a youth 12, and so I went with that because it has more of a cropped and tailored look if I wanted to style it like not tucked in, but it tucks in still very nicely, and I still just rolled it once so that it looks really just put together, and I like how everything sort of lines up when I have it untucked. I wanted to try this one, which you can totally get for your kids if you have them, or you could take that and wear it yourself. And then also I grabbed one in the men's version as well. I grabbed this one in extra large because that's Zach's size and it looks really good on him too. So as somebody who's like 6'2", this is something that looks so perfectly tailored on him, but on me it looks ironically oversized. And that's one styling tip if you're ever on the hunt for something that is like that perfect sweater. It might be something where you either go way oversized or really tailored. It's the in-between area where it looks maybe a bit off compared to something that looks very intentional. So it was fun to be able to try these two styles that are so different from each other, with something super cropped and tailored with the youth, and then having something super oversized with this. And there's so many people who are going to be wearing these American flag sweaters this time of year for the 250th. So it's fun to be able to have that and then just play it up with something so chic. For these next few pieces, since I adore silk so much in warmer weather, I wanted to find some pieces that could be used either styled up or worn as loungewear, as pajama pieces. So it's fun to be able to style these pieces together or to create brand new outfits with everything. So starting with this short sleeve top, this is a mulberry silk. It has a satin finish and it looks just as high end as it actually is. I love that it has this contrast of the white piping as well as just the black, beautiful, chic color. This top can actually also be styled with these silk short pajamas as well. I think that it's wonderful that it has this lace along the edges because it allows it to have more of just that tapered look instead of something that's super harsh with a hemline. And another mulberry ensemble is this set, this long sleeve and this pant version. It is one of those things where when you're wearing them together, it is very much in the pajama range, but on their own, they have a beautiful pattern with this tiny diamond shape. So it's not one of those patterns that's overly sleepwear like some other patterns could be. So I really like the feel of silk as far as the drape and just the way that as you move, it's sort of like sways with you, and just the way that it naturally lays with its weight is so lovely. One of those things that I love doing is having slow mornings. I am so intentional about this and I just adore having coffee. I like walking outside a bit and just being a bit in my garden and just being in something like this where if I was spotted it wouldn't be the end of the world and to be seen in a lovely loungewear set like this. And so that is just something where I'm creating more memories. I'm making those small moments in my day so much cheerier and something where I like looking forward to waking up and having that experience. For one pro tip, I always go one size up when it comes to silk pajamas because you're just going to love the way that you feel sitting and laying in it, as well as its drape and just the way that everything sort of fits together. So I did go with a small for this and then medium on my bottoms. So you can really pick that, which is also a lovely thing because so many times these are not sold separately and I never can get the right size for my top and my bottom. This also means that you can switch out the long bottoms for something that is another short. This is just like the black ones before, but this is so lovely to have that pattern just continue down. For my personal body style, to have something that is more monochrome really helps my my body proportions and the length of my body that it looks. So it's just one of those things where every time I choose monochrome, I'm always happy I did. And so having a head to toe pattern just works like nothing else. And out of the 50 pieces that I purchased from Quince, these were the ones that I loved the most. But let me know in the comments which ones are your favorites that I should absolutely keep. I would love to hear that, and let me know if you're getting any of these yourself and all of the details with that. I'd love to talk with you guys more about that in the comments. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure if you liked this video that you give it a thumbs up, and I would love to keep making videos with Quince. They are a lovely brand. So thank you, Quince, for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Here we go.